Hey, and welcome back to Chuck's Tuesday Tips. We're going to try to put this bird together today. Of course, you missed a lot of it in the messed up video, but I've washed my bird, tumble it in a bird tumbler, and I don't tumble them all the way dry. I like to leave them a little bit wet so I can blow them out and finish them up nice after I've got it put together. Now, in my skinning video, I told you that 99.9% of people skin their birds down the breast, but being as I'm dyslexic, I skin mine down the back. It's called the French method. Don't ask me why, and don't laugh. But so I only had a couple holes in this one. I went ahead and sewed them up. And you remember last week we got our wires ready. One thing I need to mention, I did pull the tendons out of the legs so that we have plenty of room to get our wire through with ease. And don't do this. Come out from the knee. It's going to want us sometimes. You got to get it past this point into the skin. Okay, so this one's not going to do it. Well, it's a good thing you guys were asking for longer videos because, hey, you know. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to switch to this side because I'm getting frustrated. I was thinking about having a question and answer time. A lot of people have been writing me with interesting questions. And I'd like to do a question and answer. There we go. See? Get it up through there. And then I run it through a little bit to make some room. I still got a little bit of stuff on this leg. And I don't get fancy with anything fancy wrapping of the leg material yet. I'll show you how to do that all with the batting like I said last week. So I'm just gonna quick wire this leg up, put it back in. And a lot of times when I'm getting frustrated with something like, oh, I see, there's some issue with this leg. A lot of times I'll go ahead and switch legs or wings or whatever it is, instead of just battling the same thing over and over again till the point of you end up ripping the leg off or something, you know. So anyhow, I get a little quiet sometimes when I get frustrated, because I call it the animals, there we go, the animal's last great act of defiance. You know, it's going to defy me, not go together no matter what I do. Now when you're doing birds, it's a good idea to have every size wire known to man on hand, so to speak. Okay, so that's done, that's done. Now we're going to go into our wings, and a lot of people wire their wings all different methods. Some people go ahead and drill a hole through this bone and run their wing wire into there. Oh, look at this. I left this on just to show you. Don't do this either. Don't leave that meat in there. Don't know how I missed that. And again, we use the borax for our preservative. Always rubbing it in liberally. There, that's clean. But what I try to do is run my wire into the third digit. It's just like your arm, the bone. This is this bone, your humerus. This is ulna and radial, whatever. And then this is actually the hand of the bird. And then this little widget right here, this is their thumb, believe it or not. So we're going to try and run our wire into there. We're going to make this bird a flyer. If it was a stander, I wouldn't have to wire the wings at all. You can kind of feel it when you get in there. No, this one's not going to do it either. Sorry, I'm going to hit the camera with my head. Is the camera okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to break it with my hard head. Oh, I see. This whole wing's shot up. That's why. There's another problem you run into a lot of times with your specimens, is that they get shot, and not always in a good way. Well, I guess there's no good way to be shot, but this whole digit is all crunched up. So I run my wire along the bone, basically the same shape. Then I'll bend it this way to get it out of my way. Now let's see if we can get lucky on this side. It's a good idea to grind a nice sharp point on your wire too with your grinder, which I'm not doing. So it's like, do as I say, not as I do, just like your parents tell you. Just hear it, Johnny, don't say it. There we go. Come on, baby. Yeah, it's gonna hold that out pretty nice. Yeah, and this wing was broken. A lot of this grit you see is from the tumbler. We tumble it in corn cob grit, which I guess is ground up corn cobs, which I don't even know who makes ground up corn cobs, but that's what it is. You can use zip ties on bigger birds. Some people do. People do all kinds of stuff. I just do your basic 100-year-old bird method, because a lot of those birds still look good 100 years later. Oh, we need a tail wire too for a tail. So, go on my scrap wire here. Get out a piece. Fall asleep, JJ. Make a little staple. Apparently JJ was out late last night.
Was it?
You liar. Playing video games and doing whatever it is you kids do. Okay, this wire goes in on the tail. And a little bit there too. Boy, who skinned this bird, man? They did a crappy ass job. Now remember, we made our little body last week, and so we're gonna put the head in last. This duck's seen better days. They shot it in the, got some shot in the head too. So you're not always going to have perfect specimens to work with. Well, they're going to bring it in and tell you, oh, it only had one BB, you know. because it looks always perfect when they pick them up. So make sure your neck's not all twisted like this one is. And sometimes it goofs people up because I do them backwards. Like I said, I'm not going down the belly, I'm going down the back. And you want to be kind of gentle as you're doing this. Oop, came out through the eye. Don't do that. So I'm going to just say what not to do. Show you how not to do a bird maybe should be the better way. There we go. We got our neck in. Now we can set our wires. Look at this flopping all over. Quit yawning, JJ.
I'm not.
Liar. You're making me tired just watching you. Okay. Get organized here. This is why we make the body smaller. A little bit, like I said last week, it just needs to hold the wires. Okay. Now these are a little longer than they need to be, so I'll clip them a little bit shorter just to make my job easier. Now I'm going to come in and set these right. Well, I know exactly from experience right where they would go, but it would always be a good idea to have your carcass there to let you know where to set your wings and your legs. But, and again, this is why I like to use the body foam, wrap bodies, because we can sit here and set this in nice. Set this one in, and you want to set your bone, your wing bone, tight into your excelsior. You heard it go there. You hear it go there. Now all I do is twist them together. And I'm going to bang this back in the body here. But I don't have my other pliers, so I'll have to use these. Now, as far as setting the legs go, the legs always go in the dead center in a bird. It might not look like it when they're walking. It might look like the legs are way back here, but they're really right directly in the center of the body. So we're going to put them right in the middle. Sometimes with the thinner gauge wire, it's a little bit harder to get it to go through because it wants to bend on itself. And again, you pull it through. Make sure our bone's set in there. We're just going to make a staple on this one shape. Push it back in. Set our leg nice and tight. I'll come back, set the other leg. And this is why we made sure there was plenty of room, that our wire slid. Oh, it's hitting the other wire. Great. There we go. It's always something. Again, we make a staple, push it in, go ahead and pull it tight. And now we're going to set our tail wire in, which goes right in the butt.
That mic keeps
Huh?
That mic keeps getting you in the head.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get an angle where I can see what you're doing.
That's okay. Still appreciate. Alright, so basically we've got our bird wired up, and then last week I was talking about the shape. Just feeding the neck down a little bit. So that we can, oh man, my wire came undone. Well, why not? Why not just show you problems that run into sometimes? Doesn't always go perfect. Now I can't find the wire end. There it is. You know what? I probably should have done the tape method. You can use tape on this too, electrical tape. You tape your wires down. There we go. I promise you this bird will come out looking like something, even though it doesn't look like it right now. That's the miracle of taxidermy. There we go. Okay, so we have this polyfill stuff that I told you, this is where we really get our shape at.
You're at 18 minutes.
18? Wow. Okay, what we're going to do is get this to the point where we're going to sew it up, and we'll stop this and come back next week and sew this sucker up and pose it. That might be a good stopping point. But basically we're going ahead and building our anatomy with the foam, the polyfill. It's going to be nice and full when we're done. We're already getting the pocket shape in there. We'll put a little in the legs to make our leg shape. And then a little on the thighs. And you like this polyfill because cotton binds up too much on itself. And as you can see, when we go to sew it up, I'm going to put some more down the back here, but I'm not going to do that until I start sewing. So anyway, remember what this looks like, because next week it's going to look really good. even though this doesn't look good right now. So thanks for tuning into Chuck's Tuesday Tips, and we'll see you next week.